Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new wargaming concept. I want to do at least one wargaming concept per week. So this week I want to talk about the MSU. Maybe you went to some forums and you have find about MSU armies. You find that people start talking about MSU armies. What means an MSU army? So MSU it's coming from multiple small units. So an MSU army is an army that is composed by several small units. Instead of having if you have seen my wargaming concept of the last week, I was talking about Death Star. This is completely the opposite. So Death Star was a big unit with a lot of points accumulated or a lot of resources accumulated in that unit. In MSU type of army, you have all your resources scattered between a lot of small different units. What is the advantage of doing that? The advantage is especially, and it will depend a lot on the game type and what is the game objective. But normally this is used when the game is consisting in capturing objectives and you need to to have units at different places at the same time. So in that way you can cover a lot of battlefield with all your small units. And the key is that all the small units have synergy between them. So the units should be a little bit specialized. You will have some, for example, in 40k, that is the game I'm more familiar with, you will have some units anti-tank, you will have some units for close combat. None of them are going to be strong and decisive, but you can combine 3 or 4 units to have a good strength. So the idea here is that you have all your resources scattered between different units. You can combine resources from or combine units to have some strength in a point, but at the same time you can cover a lot of the battlefield. Another thing why multiple small units can be quite interesting in Warhammer 40k. So normally in Warhammer 40k, one unit can only shoot another unit. You cannot shoot unless you have split fire, and it's quite rare. You cannot shoot to a lot of units at the same time. So this means that if a big unit is shooting at one of your small units, okay, chapeau, he killed this small unit, but you still have too many units to compensate that. And the enemy cannot shoot at all your units at the same time, cannot couple with all your units at the same time. So have to focus on small units while all your units can combine fire to make damage to this big unit, because you can combine all the units to focus on one objective. So normally in war games, one unit can only attack another unit, but multiple units always can focus to one single enemy. This is one of the advantages of multiple small units. What are the drawbacks or the negative points in multiple small units? So the main drawback is when you play games where the enemy is gaining points for killing units. This is going to be very difficult for you or for this type of armies to deal with, because your enemy will start killing your small units and will start making a lot of points, while you will have difficulties to make points because you will need to invest resources, and maybe you kill one unit and the enemy is able to kill more of your units. So this is one of the watch outs. The other watch out is that you have to be careful that your units have synergy between them, because if you start scattering them too much, can happen that some of your small units get isolated, they don't do anything during the battle, and they are killed very easily by other enemy units. So you have to be very careful there. So not as all type of tactics, you can have your advantages, you have your negative, and you have the drawbacks. Also another type of missions that can be very difficult when you playing with that type of army is when it's a mission where you have to capture just one point on the battlefield. Normally in that type of games, Death Stars or type of armies are working better. When you want to hold, for example, in Warhammer 40k, one example is the Relic, but in fantasy can be, for example, holding a centerpiece of terrain. So normally in that case the Death Stars can do a good job because they can be there on the objective, and it's going to be very difficult for the enemy to eliminate this unit from there. On the other side, if you're playing with small multiple units, it's going to be difficult for you to hold, because the unit you put there to hold the objective is going to be obliterated quite easily, unless you can do some screening on. You have to use more tactics, not just put the unit there and sitting there. So you will need to really synergize all the armies. And this is going to be more complex when you have multiple small units. So this is just a concept. You will find this in a lot of forums. People is talking about MSU, except some armies that work a lot with this type of tactics. For example, one that is very recently moving to this direction is the Space Marines in Warhammer 40k. They like to work with with a lot of small units, because they have advantages, and especially with the last rules, to have some units for free if they do that. Armies that also play like that, or had played like that in the past, were the Dark Eldar. Dark Eldar were playing with a lot of light vehicles all around you. So if you kill one of these light vehicles, he still have a lot of them to compensate. So this was very common. So of course, when we talk about these small armies with small multiple units, or multiple small units, the other thing that is common, the other concept that normally comes associated with that is spam. Most of the times people is combining this with spamming small units. In that way you have redundancy. If you lose one of that units, you will have some more to compensate the loss. So yeah, this is one of the concepts. You will find this. I will want to keep talking about the different concepts in wargaming, especially for people that is starting, and also talking a little bit about what are the tactics and what is the reason of these different type of concepts. I will be honest, I'm more focused at this moment. I know I have better knowledge on Warhammer 40k. I played this for a longer time. I will try to also start using concepts more on Age of Sigmar, and maybe in future, if I keep playing or if I start playing 9th edition, I will also cover some points there. These are the games I will be focused on, and yeah, just to let you know. If you have any concept that you have seen somewhere and you don't know what it's about, please don't hesitate to drop me a message. Maybe I know what is this about. Sometimes I also find concepts that I don't know what the people is talking about, and I have to do some research from my site. So don't hesitate to drop me a message if there is any concept that you don't understand and you want to know better about that. So that's all what I wanted to talk here. And the wargaming concept of this week is the MSU, or multiple small units. I hope you find it interesting. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.